Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 312. Before we jump into our article, the New York Post is reporting that the compensation fund for the survivors has started to pay out on claims. Now, it was a very short article that the Post put out, and it came out yesterday. So I was waiting to see if there was some more clarification that would come out so that we could get a bit deep into it. But unfortunately, that's the only article that I could find that's mentioning the fact that supposedly the fund has started paying out money to some of the survivors. So I'm going to continue to monitor that, right? The Post has been pretty good with their reporting, so I'm guessing that there is some movement there, but I haven't seen it anywhere else, and that article was very short, a paragraph and a half or so. You could check it out. Just go and check out, Google Jeffrey Epstein Compensation Fund, and it'll pop right up. But I'm curious to see if we get some further reporting in the next couple of days about some of the particulars around money being paid out and some of the context, right? Because we know that at some point that compensation fund is going to start paying these survivors out. We've just been wondering when. And it looks like there is some movement in that direction, so we will keep our eye on that. And the second that I can confirm and offer some details on it, I'll definitely do that. Our article today, though, we're talking about the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family and his 16,000-pound trip to go watch golf. I hear that the royal family is chartering all of these planes and they're renting these planes to take people around. Wouldn't it just make more sense for the royal family to have their own plane or two? I mean, in the long run, wouldn't that make more sense than having to charter these planes to go all over the world and shit? I don't know. Obviously, I'm not part of the royal family and I don't know how they do things, but I would think if it's on the public's dime that the public would demand that they, own their own plane so you don't have to keep incurring these sorts of costs every time they're going on some sort of trip or something. But the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family thinks it's a good idea to spend £16,000, of the British taxpayers' dollars to go and watch some golf. What would your wife say, or your husband, if you showed up and you were like, hey, I'm going to go spend a cool 16 grand. I'm going to go watch some golf. I'll be back in the next couple of days. It's not reality for the rest of us. There's nothing that could ever occur for the rest of us. But these so-called elites, these sick bastards who live by their own set of rules, hey, this is how they roll. And guess what, plebes? You're footing the bill. This article is from golfmagic.com. The headline, Prince Andrew cost taxpayers £16,000 to take private jet to watch the Open. This article was authored by Jack Seddon, and it was published on September 25th. The people of Britain have been left infuriated after it was revealed that Prince Andrew, a.k.a. the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, spent £15,848 of taxpayers' money on a private jet to watch the Open Championship at Royal Portrush last July. Now look, the royal family has plenty of money, right? They can't come out of their own pocket for this shit. The prince doesn't have any money that he could, dig into his pocket and yank out and pay for his own charter. Or how about this, fly commercial like the rest of us? What do you know? I'm sure a first-class flight was nowhere near £16,000. The royal accounts for the last financial year have just been released, and the British public have taken to Twitter to vent their frustration at seeing the ludicrous figure for Prince Andrew's flight to Northern Ireland in July 2019. Just about every person I've spoken to who is from England is disgusted at this point, not just with this behavior, but with the fact that he was so close to Epstein. He was so much in Jeffrey Epstein's atmosphere and orbit, and the fact that he is still avoiding questions, this just adds to that, right? It adds to the anger that people feel, the outrage that people feel, to know that there is one set of rules for them and one set of rules for us is enough to make people go insane at this point. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that people have been locked down in their homes. People are paying attention now. People aren't so, worried about the day-to-day because their day-to-day is Groundhog Day at this point. So people are paying more attention. People are digging a bit deeper. And when they pull that curtain back and they see what these people truly are about, and they see that these people are so out of touch that they think that a 16,000-pound flight to Ireland to watch golf is a good idea, then you understand why the people have had enough. According to royal officials, the prince had no other ways of getting to Northern Ireland to watch the 148th Open Championship at Royal Portrush, where Shane Lowry won his maiden major title, much to the delight of the local fans. Wow, really? There was no other ways of getting there? I don't know if the royal family and the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family know, but there's like this thing called the internet, and you can go to a website called Orbitz. I'll spell it for you. ORBITZ.com. And you could go there and you could book a flight like the rest of us, and you could go to Northern Ireland and watch the golf on your own dime, and nobody would say shit about it. But instead, you're taking money from the English people and you're going to watch golf? What an absolute jagoff. On the day the prince took the chartered flight, there were 13 daily flights to Belfast to choose from. A palace source said there were no other ways for Andrew to make the trip. He was undertaking a visit on behalf of his patronage. Arrangements in relation to the program did not enable him to travel by scheduled flight. I mean, really? He was there representing his patronage? No, he wasn't. He was there to eat French fries, pizza, swig down some beers, probably oogle at some girls, and watch golf. Who do you think you're kidding? All right? Nobody's buying your narrative. Nobody's buying the BS that he's there as a working royal. The dude's never been a working royal. He's been a schmoozer, a grifter, and, according to Virginia, an abuser. Sorry, WTF, British taxpayers paid £15,848,000 for Prince Andrew to fly by private jet to watch the Open Golf Championship in Portrush last year, 3 weeks after his billionaire pedophile mate Jeffrey Epstein was arrested for trafficking minors. A disgusting abuse of our money, tweeted Piers Morgan. And I think Piers Morgan hits the nail on the head here. Could you be any more tone deaf? Could you be any more detached from what reality really is than these morons we're dealing with? People such as the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, Ghislaine Maxwell, and the rest of them. These people have no idea what it's like to wake up every morning, put on your work boots, grab your lunch pail, and bring your ass to your 9 to 5. They don't know what that's like. All they know how to do is grift money and steal and put the burden on the backs of middle class and poor taxpayers. Boy, these people are just fantastic, aren't they? This monarchy should be done away with. This is an outrageous waste of public money. And can I put on the record that as a taxpayer, the only flight I am willing to pay to put Prince Andrew on is one to America for his long overdue interview, said journalist and lawyer Peter Stefanovic. Yo, Peter Stefanovic gets quote of the day. This is my guy right here, folks. Yo, Peter Stefanovic, I am all for that, my guy. Let's get him on a plane. Let's land his ass right in America, and let's have a nice, long talk with Prince Andrew. Sit him down with the investigators, let the interrogators have their way with him. And wherever I can donate for that to occur, Mr. Stefanovic, if you want to start some sort of fund, you can count on this American pitching in for that to occur. Eddie Pepperell, who finished 71st at last year's Open, replied to the Daily Mirror's tweet about the story, saying that Prince Andrew offered him food at the first tee. Oh my Lord. So Prince Andrew, according to Eddie Pepperell and his tweet here in the article, he offered me some pizza on the first tee last year at Port Rush. Oh boy, pizza? That's going to send a certain segment of people that research this case into a tizzy. The pizza reference is going to make some people go nutty over here, folks. So this moron, the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, thinks it's a good idea to post up and eat some pizza on the 71st, on the first tee last year at Port Rush. He's sitting there eating pizza on the English people's dime, by the way, the English taxpayers' dime, by the way. And all is well, even though his buddy, his BFF, the dude that he flew across the pond to go break up with, was sitting in a jail cell for sex crimes. I mean, you cannot make this shit up, folks. This guy is an absolute stain on the royal family. And I am not a historian on the royal family, on the monarchy, or anything like that. But up until Prince Andrew, I never really paid much attention to what they were up to or what was going on. But you better believe they have my full attention at this point. Because you take a look at Jimmy Savile, you take a look at what's going on here, you take a look at some of the other stuff I've heard about the Mountbattens, and there's some funky stuff going on in that royal family, folks. And Prince Andrew, of all people, at this point, is an absolute stain on everything that the royal family is trying to accomplish. Back in the old days, if this was the Middle Ages, this dude would have been sent on a ship to whatever the most far-flung province in the empire was. And he would have went and been some backwater governor somewhere to get him away from the royal court. That's how much of an embarrassment this guy is. Maybe even locked in London Tower. It amazes me. And obviously, it's not just Prince Andrew. The American politicians love this kind of shit. They love to grift. They love to use taxpayer money and go on these stupid-ass trips and vacations and whatever it is that they're doing, and then say, oh, well, you know, it was for the people. We're doing it in our role as a senator or a congresswoman. The private jets, the nonsense. Meanwhile, all you have to do is take a walk down any major city in any major country in any Western province, and you will see poor people, homeless people, and these people think that it's okay to spend $16,000, 16,000 pounds on a flight to Ireland to eat pizza and hang out with your golf buddies. I don't think that the people are going to accept it for much longer. I know the people that are listening to this podcast have had their bellies full of it and aren't going to take it anymore. And I think that people the world over are starting to feel the exact same way. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All of the links that go with this episode can be found in the description box. All right, everybody, I will be back tomorrow. If you're going out tonight, please do not drink and drive. And if you're looking for something to do and you want to watch people punch each other in the face, there is an epic UFC card on tap. As for me, I'll catch you folks later.